Hi, first I'd like to thank you for coming to your child's conference. I know that everyone involved wants to have what's the absolutely best for your child, and that's why I think it's a great idea that we get together and discuss your child's scores on the assessments, and that way we will all have an understanding of what's actually meant by the scores on the test and that your child has received. And that is the first area that I wanted to be sure to touch on with you, that these are your child's scores, and that's all that you should be concerned with. Comparing scores with our children is a very unreliable and not a very clear or valid indication by any means of your child's ability. And developmentally appropriate level of learning for your child is what we are concerned with, and that's why I think it's great that you're here tonight to discuss your child and what we can do to have between the two of us for continued success for your student. By focusing on your child's assessment together, we can create the appropriate learning experiences for your child at school. And if you would like, I can suggest activities that can be done at home to encourage continued learning and to assist your child with continued success with developmentally appropriate attainment of materials and activities. The scores for your students show a student who is achieving. Your student's Stay9 scores range between 5 and 7. Which would indicate an aptitude of average to considerably above average, which is a great place for any student to be in. There's still room to grow, but they are obviously achieving at a level that is developmentally appropriate for them at this time, and they can have continued success. As I said, these scores are indicative of how your child did amongst the same age group and grade level peers. And as always, you must remember that these are assessment scores are one piece of your child's ability. I am fortunate enough to work with your child on a day-to-day basis in the classroom, and I know that your child has very good work habits, is perseverant in their learning, and asks questions when needed. And these are equally as important as any scores that we can get off of assessments. Any child who is willing to ask questions, who's willing to stay at a task, who's willing to work hard, they're going to be successful. Now, I'm going to stop here and now explain to you, this is not as if I'm not talking to the parent now. I'm just saying that if I was talking to the parent now at this point, I would not mention their scores on the grade equivalency level. As I said, sometimes parents might misunderstand this. And for instance, this student that we were looking at, the one area of comprehension, the child was significantly higher, but in phonetic awareness was very average. And this may concern a parent and cause them to emphasize or focus on the area where the child seemed or appeared to be weaker. I would also not mention the official percentile rankings due to the variations in the students' percentages. Again, with a concern that the parents would focus too much on the one area. For example, the student was in the 87th percentile for comprehension on a national level, but it would probably be the 55% vocabulary on the local level that the parent would focus on, and I would hate to take away from all that the student was achieving and all that the student was able to do just to provide a percentile that doesn't necessarily mean a great deal at this point in the child's development. Now back to my conference with my parents. Again, thank you. My recommendation for activities at home is always to have your child read every day. And of course to continue to talk to your child, as I know you are doing that. But there's nothing better or that will increase your child's vocabulary more than the one-on-one conversation and conversations they have with people in your lives on a daily basis. This is more important than anything or any curriculum that your child will receive, and it's my sincere pleasure to have your student in my class, and if there's anything else I can do, we will continue on the path that we're on at the developmentally appropriate levels for your child, and keep offering things slightly above level so that your child will strive to achieve more and more. And I believe that your student will have continued success in school if they continue, as I said, asking questions, working hard, and showing the perseverance that they have done so far. And again, thank you again for coming tonight. It shows a real appreciation of the education system. It shows your concern and your care for your child.